You talked about some of your education in psychotherapy, psychoanalysis, psychodrama, bioenergetics, biosynthesis, and was there something more?
Yeah, in family constellation with Bert Hellinger.
Ah.
Yeah, I did the training also in family constellation, and after this I started to study neuroscience, and I finished with a training a man from Italy, and now I look for the next one.
Uh-huh. And this neuroscience was some kind of more academic?
No, it was also body psychotherapy.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. And about this family constellation, how does that fit into your body psychotherapeutic heart?
And I did also several workshops with Peso. I did not do the training, but I did several workshops, so I recognize all the things about Peso, you know. I like it also.
Mm-hmm.
I think as much I have tools to read the body, to work with the body, it's the most important, you know. I don't need to have only one tool, like, I only know the bioenergetic exercise. This is too old already, you know. Or I needed to know only biosynthesis and do meditation, because biosynthesis is really a lot about meditation and healing process. No, I can combine everything. When I see a body and I think in family constellation, I also think in transgeneration and how to work with this, how the body is belongs to the family system, you know. If I work with a fat woman and I want her to get thin, no, it's impossible, because she belongs on family system that everybody is like this, with this shape of body, you know. So it was very interesting also family constellation.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the most I have tools and techniques to work with the body is the best.
I also think about, maybe at the beginning you probably studied psychology.
No.
Or not?
No, I'm pedagogue.
Pedagogue?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Because at that time in Brazil, there was no University of Psychology.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to pedagogue. Mm-hmm. Just like Bodella, he is pedagogue also.
Mm-hmm. He's a teacher of English?
Yes, no, teacher of children. He was in England, teacher of children. He's a pedagogue.
What was your specialization in pedagogy?
Wow, autism. To work with autism.
Ah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In this moment I was very interested already in something different, you know. And I went to Texas, the University of Texas, and I studied there about autism.
Mm-hmm.
It was really the process also, and with children with syndrome of Down. I have a thesis about Down syndrome in Texas.
I'd like to talk more now about body psychotherapy, as you have that in yourself, in your mind and heart. How would you say, what are the advantages of body psychotherapy? When you look back, you have a lot of experience, you can compare many things probably.
Yes, for me nowadays I think more and more body psychotherapy is up to date, you know, because I look at the people. Lots of people are cancer today, lots of people are sick today, and sickness that we don't know what is this. Of course, new technology, new things, but I think to work with the body is really, I cannot think to be psychotherapist without understanding the body or work with the body. I'm not saying that all my sessions, because my clinical is every week, you know. I travel a lot, but When I'm in Brazil, it's weekly. Every day I work 12 hours a day, you know, with the same clients, etc. And I cannot think about to go back to psychoanalysis or to go in another direction, you know. For me, really, because of my own transformation, I think it's body psychotherapy. It's no doubt about this, you know.
I'm thinking about what are the limits of body psychotherapy? Was there some moments when you really somehow touched the limit and you thought, wow, now I need to work differently, not body psychotherapeutically?
I didn't feel this, you know, because I think body psychotherapy fits with my personality, you know. So I didn't feel this. I do much more works. I take much more risk now doing body psychotherapy, you know, because I think in my age I'm not so tolerant. Or you want for psychotherapy or you don't want to do it. And when the students say, oh, it was too much to touch, it was too much to put my hand here, and then I think this somehow is sadistic, you know, because you know where you can put your hands without invading a body, you know. And sometimes I think the people stay very uncomfortable to touch the body because they are not comfortable with their own body, you know.
Mm.
And then I don't want to go so deep, and then sometimes it stays so much in the surface, you know. The therapy, the body psychotherapy is like going to the gym, you know, or going to the physiotherapy. And this is not meaningful. You don't have to be afraid of the body. If you are so connected with your own body, you don't have limits. You can go. Also, the clients give limits, you know, and people doesn't believe this, you know. If I push too much, the clients say, stop. No, I don't want. So it's like I always try to go a little bit farther, and to try to help people the other way, yeah.
It's interesting, you said, I thought maybe the beginners are more courageous because they are lacking experience.
Yes.
But then you said, actually, now you are more courageous, you take more risk.
I take more risk, yeah, to go, you know. I take more risk, yeah. I don't have so much, if I believe in my body, if I believe in body psychotherapy, I'm not so scared to touch the body of the other, you know, otherwise I'm not a body psychotherapist. But my session daily, it's not all the time body work, you know. Every week I have a client, so he comes some moments I do body psychotherapy, very deep, like I go in the stool or something like this. But then I integrate all those things. I have to integrate the technique, otherwise I split my client, you know. If I do bioenergetic every session, then I could kill the client. But I do some bioenergetic and then I integrate the whole body, what he's feeling and this and that, you know.
So of course you do also quite a lot of verbal work to integrate.
Yes.
Was it the way Logan did it also?
No.
He was more in that way, more body work?
Yeah, he was very courageous, you know. He was like a doctor, you know. Like he goes, make operation and then let you go, you know. But he was very precise. Really, he was very precise. You could not blame him, you know. Louis was like, he has eyes like this. Once I was in a session with him, and he was telling me, cry, scream. And then I said, oh my God, I need to scream, because otherwise he's not leave me alone, you know, because he was here. And then I screamed like the hell. And then he looked at me and said, you scream, but you don't cry. He was all the time, you know, like this, you know. In another session, I was in New York alone with friends, and he said to me in a session, kill your mother. tell for me that I want to kill you, mother. And I said, I can't. I can't. I have fear of this. And then he said, you are not killing your mother. I'm going out of the room. And he left. He left me, alone there. Leave me alone. I said, oh, please come back. I killed my mother. Because I'm here in New York alone. He was very precise,
Mm.
And it was very important for me.
And also very intense.
Very
It's
intense, very intense.
And now I switch a little bit toward the training here in Czech Republic.
Yeah.
You are a senior lecturer in the training of integrative body psychotherapy in
Yeah.
Prague, in Czech Republic, already for many years. How do you find this concept? Because you talk more about bioenergetic, biosynthesis, but here it's a mixture of all of that and something more also. Can you say something about the integration, how you see that in this training?
So I think that this kind of training really is the possibility of integration. I feel free. It's the freedom, I'm not connected only with bioenergetic and I have to teach it this, it's boring, I'm not connected only with biosynthesis and I have to be very faithful to biosynthesis, teach only this. This integration is enlarge the training, of course, because you have several points of views, so you can open the mind of the trainee, that is not only one view of the body, but it's several.
So I would like to go back more to talk about specific advantages of body psychotherapy, because maybe many people who will watch this and will have the question in mind, why to go to train body psychotherapy? Why not to do just verbal psychotherapy? So can you maybe catch some really specifics of body psychotherapy? In what way the body psychotherapy is very good, maybe just very specific, that no other verbal psychotherapy can do that kind of job?
Well, I think that in our days, the importance that I said before, to have the connection with the body, because of the complexity of the moment of the life. We are living a very complex moment in political, social, economical, all around the world. And I think that the people are disconnected from the body. And to do body psychotherapy is not only to stay in the head with fantasies or imagination, speak and speak and speak, because people love to live from here on, and they have to understand that the life is here in the body. And I think when people knows this or understand that the body is something very important, there's no place in the life without your body, Your life is your body, and you have to know how to treat. And as we have all our neuroses, let's say, time us or make us armors, I think if you know how to breathe deep, how to take these armors out and relax, because also the other sickness of the world today is stress. And the body psychotherapy, you learn how to go to not so much in a stress place if you take care of your body, I think it's very important. And this combination of body and mind together, this really is fantastic. Also, when you asked me about the integration therapy, yes, and this is much more today. When I started my institute, as I said, was this kind of integration therapy, integration of theories What I have here, and then I can make my style, my combination. The first thing that I think the body psychotherapy integration is like I can open myself to be the therapist that I know inside of myself. I don't have to put tools on the client, you know. I allow the client to learn which kind of therapist he has inside of himself. And he can have tools and to choose how to work with those tools, you know. And this is the integration, is the big point of this integration, not only one. And the world is so complex. I don't believe that nowadays we can have only one theory to discuss all about the human being, you know. If you have more perspective, more views of the same human being, then you can help much more. This sometimes to do the training in body integration is not so easy, because when you have only one theory and only one how to do it, it's like people say, oh, I have a clue, you know, I have exercise, I know how to do this, I have maps, I have schemes, I have maps to do it. And I don't think we have maps, but we have to discover inside of each trainee what he can do it, which is the strong point of him to being a psychotherapist, you know. And this I saw here in the training this year. They are working in front of me, and I'm seeing the difference between them. It's incredible. And they are different qualities of therapists, you know. They don't need to be like in a fabric. Everybody is the same. Everybody think the same theory, but they can be very connected with themselves. And we try, when we look to this therapist, to understand, oh, but he's good in this, and then he can learn more about this and that, you know. It's not that you have maps to understand the other.
So, in the integrative area of this training, the participants, they can, in a way, choose what mostly fits to their personalities.
Yes.
And that's their way of integration. So each one does that in a little bit different way, and you see that in the training.
Not they choose, they connect what is more connect with themselves, you know. They learn more what's more connect with his knowledge, his way of being life, how he's a psychotherapist, because it's not only the theory, it's everything together. So they learn more about themselves and how they are as a therapist, integrating those things. When I see one school only, I see that they teach the tools and the maps, but they don't teach so much how to be the therapist, you know, how to be really the possibility that I have inside of myself. I have to grow with this. David Bodella says something very important. He says that all of us, we have a self-therapist inside. Sometimes we wake up this, sometimes not. And I think this kind of training integrative, we can wake up the self-therapist, you know, connect with his life.
And when you say what concretely this training offers, what is it? What is it mainly? Because there are probably plenty of things from body psychotherapy, but what is mainly there, or what you bring there?
Yes.
So there are different trainers, of course, so we can talk about just about you.
I think
so what do you bring there from all
the best things that here at Q, we are 3 different trainers, you know, and this is really good. Somebody connect with this theory and somebody with the other students with me, and this is like this. When I teach, I really connect with, I'm writing a book about this, character structure, transference in the body work, you know, how to do how to touch this transference. For me, this is very important when I teach. I teach much more what they need to clinical work. You know, I'm a clinical woman. My experience is from the clinical. So I think that if they have the tools to understand the human being, like what's transference, how to read the character, how to read the body, and the combination of transference, character analysis, and body reading, you don't need to do so much exercise, you know. Then if you read the body, you know where to touch, you know where you go, and you combine this with transference.
Body reading, when I say to somebody, I do body reading,
Yeah.
they look at me like, what kind of diagnostic process it is.
Yes.
Can you say something more about body reading
Yes,
and this importance of that?
yes, this is our big tool, because not everybody knows how to read the body. Yeah? And when we read the body, it's not like I'm sit here and you say, oh, your body talks to me. No, you come here because you are more connected. You go there because you are not connected. No, we train the people to see all the psychological part in the body. Neurosis, splits, like I say, if it's to rigidity, breathing. So the body reading is, I see in the surface what is going up inside, you know, like a crystal. I see the small part of a crystal and then I see what's happening inside. It's for me, like I teach in Japan, in Moscow, in Germany, several parts of the world. If I didn't know how to read the body, it was not possible for me. Because I have to deal with the culture, I have to deal with everything is different from my country. Then I read the body, like a rigidity. Oh, this person has so much rigidity here in the neck. And that for me is why he's so stiff here. Maybe he cannot integrate thoughts and heart. Something very simple like this, you know. And when I go there and I touch very soft the neck, and the people breathe deep, you know, and make a connection of feelings, start to cry, it's because I did the body reading before. I don't touch if I don't read the body, because then I know rigidity, stiffness, collapses. Parts who are dead, you feel dead, it's more alive, energetic, you know. It's also easy to speak about energy, because it's also a little bit, what's energy, But we see through the breathing. It's not so complicated, you know, but it's like a guide for you. You read the body, and then you know how to do the body work.